Okay, so like I said, thank you everyone for joining today to another One Hub Lunch and Learn Conversations with Emerging Newcomer Entrepreneurs. We have a very special guest for you today. Before we jump into that, I want to go over what it is that we offer at the Hub. We are the one-stop shop for entrepreneurs, newcomer entrepreneurs in the city of Ottawa. We offer a full suite of services, including mentorship programming, so matching with volunteers. We also have some very comprehensive training from an 8-week to a 3-week to a self-paced online, so really as flexible as you need. We also have unlimited business coaching, which, I don't know where you can find that, unlimited and for free in the city. And we also have unlimited financial literacy consultations as well. So really exploring what kind of funding options are available for your type of business and for you as a newcomer. In addition to that, we also have other sessions similar to this, where we meet with local entrepreneurs. So some Canadian born, some immigrant entrepreneurs, really to explore different niches. And that's through our work shadowing. And lastly, we have a alumni program, which is really about connecting immigrant entrepreneurs with other immigrant entrepreneurs. So again, creating more opportunities for connection and networking so that your business can thrive. And so I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm going to be the moderator for today's chit chat. I'm going to introduce you to our special guests momentarily. Essentially, my role at the Hub is as a mentorship program coordinator. I also coordinate the alumni program I just mentioned. And again, my job's around connection. So if you want to be connected to a volunteer or for mentorship or other immigrant entrepreneurs, I'm your person. And so let me just spotlight our guest today as I do our a little bit of an intro. So like I said, I'm very excited to introduce you to Nordia Bogle. And so Nordia holds a BSc in psychology, actually something we hold in common, as well as a master's in education administration and leadership. She subscribes to lifelong learning and development and is passionate about seeing people achieve their fullest potential. As an entrepreneur and personal brand strategist, she consults ambitious immigrant women to build bold and noticeable personal brands that increase their visibility and marketability for career advancement. She affirms, and I'm sure many of you can, attest to this, as immigrants, building a life in a new country requires you show up and develop your personal brand with intention. And so your personal brand aims not to impress people falsely, but to communicate your value and expertise to increase your visibility and attract the right people and right opportunities. So she believes that we achieve this kind of success through planning and action taking. And that's why she offers clear step-by-step outlines in her one-on-one services and customized personal development workshops. And she'll explain further. So I just want you all to join me in a round of applause for our special guest, Nordia Bogle. Welcome.
Thank you. It is really my pleasure to be here and to, share what my journey has been so far, and hopefully, meet new people, connect with other entrepreneurs, and just do my part, as an immigrant, sharing what I've learned, learning from others and so on. I think you said all that I always want to say in terms of enough of what I want to say in terms of my introductions. And the only thing I would add is that I'm Jamaican. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what we hope to integrate into these sessions. I think also what makes them so unique is, of course, we interact with a lot of entrepreneurs in this ecosystem. But when it comes to immigrant entrepreneurs, everyone has a different journey. Some people came here for school. Some people came here through a sponsorship. And so what helps, I think, for a lot of newcomer entrepreneurs is seeing other people's path and seeing representation in their path, so that it kind of demystifies excuse me, the journey. So if you can give us a little bit of background around how you your immigration journey, as well as what drew you to entrepreneurship.
So I came to Canada in 2017, December of 2017. My goal was to do a master's here. So I was living in New Brunswick since January 2018 until December last year. I studied at UNB, that's University of New Brunswick. I did my master's in admin and leadership. And I worked at CIBC throughout that time as well. That's my journey, that's my start. So as you said, everyone starts differently, and my start is being an international student first. That was the catalyst to me going into entrepreneurship here in Canada. It's not something that's new to me though. When I was in Jamaica, I was an academic coach as well as a tutor, so I have that. So when I started, I found that persons who had questions about how to start the process in terms of studying in Canada. So when those questions came to me, I created a ebook and I shared that with, I think, roughly 600 plus persons downloaded that copy, where I gave the step by step in terms of how to do the process, especially for persons in the Caribbean. I tried to make it general as possible, but it was more focused on Caribbean students or
Mhm.
prospective students. And from there, I did like one-to-one coaching in terms of the process for persons who wanted to do it and to get that detailed help. I've had persons who have gone through the process by moving from Jamaica to here. And when I continued on that, I realized though that there was an aspect of it that I wasn't able to offer that help, which was the biggest problem, was with the study permit. That process requires you to be an immigration representative, and you want to thread lightly when you give that kind of information. I found that people wanted more of a specific detail there, and I couldn't provide that. So I pivot from that, and I decided that, okay, if I'm going to make Canada my home, and I'm seeing where you're coming here, you're studying, you're getting that level of information, you're getting that level of experience, but you're not really getting those opportunities to really realize your full potential and to get those roles that would really be fulfilling. And I then decided that I was going to focus on personal branding more. It's something that I've always liked. I've always done it in terms of for myself. So I decided that, I'm going to tailor my services more on that, to create that, that factor where you are more into communicating your value. Because I think everyone has the potential, even if you don't have if you didn't come to Canada for the degree and you came to Canada because of different circumstances, you already come with a wealth of information and knowledge and skills and talents. So why not communicate that, and attract those opportunities around that? So that was where that specific, or where I am now in my entrepreneurial journey, that was how that came about. So it took a lot of turns, but yeah, that's how I got here. So that's it.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you for taking us through your journey. I'm sure a lot of people had similar experiences, and especially when it comes to pivoting and coming across, I can't really do that. I don't want to overstep these bounds, so I have to choose other things. So thanks for laying that all out. And so what I want to do next is, again, dive a little bit deeper, and especially kind of use your journey as a way for other people to consider entrepreneurship for themselves. And so I have a few questions. The first one I have for you is, what do you wish you knew before becoming an entrepreneur? Now that you're in this journey, you're operating, you have an amazing website. And so knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to that version of yourself, the one before going into entrepreneurship?
Uh, that I think it was kind of twofold when I thought of that, because I realized that I needed, I started out for a good couple months before I really got that coaching, paid private services. And I think that was something that I probably should have started with earlier, because what was happening was I'm not new to being an entrepreneur, because I've done that in Jamaica, but it is a different environment and it was different type of service. So and that started through referral. So it was a former schoolmate who referred me to someone who was doing a master's, and I, went into academic coaching for the research aspect of that, in that aspect. And then it was through that referral that I got referrals again and more. So I had that there, and I made that approach here in Canada, to think that, okay, because there's this online factor, and I was, going into that space, I thought that by doing that, I would have gotten, the details, or I would have that optimism, or that level of start that I got in Jamaica. I thought I would have gotten that here, but it wasn't like that. So I think, no, knowing what I know now, I think one of the best things to start with is actual real coaching, someone to give you those step by step, like what I did in Jamaica was face to face, nothing online. But here I had to start online. There are a lot of things that you need to do in terms of setting yourself and your business up online that I didn't know, that it cost me, cost me time and money. And had I known a lot of what I do know now, and I'm sure I wouldn't know everything, but just the idea that probably, seek the help first, have the idea, flesh it out with someone who is professional and an expert in that space, and then take it from there. It kind of helps you to avoid a lot of the mistakes, and the costly mistakes as well, those more than anything else. So I think that's the thing I wish I knew prior to to where I'm at now. Probably I would have been further along in my mind, but yeah.
No, I think I really like how you laid that out, because it speaks again to that power of connection, and how that can help avoid costly mistakes. And obviously that's something that we embody in the mentorship program, really connecting people so that you have those, you can have those blinders open, and avoid costly mistakes along the journey. So thanks for answering that question so well. The next question I have for you is around your customers. I know you have a target group. So how would you describe your ideal customer base, and what kind of marketing methods do you use to reach them?
So my ideal customer would be twofold in regards to that. So I am focused on the immigrant woman who has a graduate degree and who is looking to position herself as a specialist or an expert. And so you are building your personal brand around that value that you have to offer, and using your brand in terms of your image, your content. As good place I like to say to start is online, because starting online when you do not have, those connections and that network, is a great place for someone who started their journey like I did, an immigrant who started like I did, who came to Canada without any network, without any connections, and you want to build your professional image. So that is the first, I would say, the first group or category in terms of that. So it could be that your opportunity that you would like to attract could be a 9 to 5, or it could be to become a professional speaker. So it would branch off my ideal client, in the sense where I don't focus on persons who just want to be speakers, or just want to launch a business, or just want to do a 9 to 5, but it's just that person, that immigrant professional who has that graduate background and wants to attract the right people or the right opportunities. So it could be to become a member of an association. It could be to be a speaker, as I said before, to be an entrepreneur, to attract a senior level position in in an organization that you are interested in, a company you're interested in. So It's like, that's why I say it's kind of twofold. So it could be you're looking to attract the 9 to 5, or it could be you're looking to attract those specific solo opportunities.
I
So
see. I see. Okay. Uh, I I just want to stop here just to let everyone know. I know I'm asking a bunch of questions right now, but if you have any questions for Nordia, we're going to have a Q&A after in a little bit. So feel free to write them down or put them in the chat because we'd love for you to kind of, use this opportunity to ask more about entrepreneurship. And so I love the way you laid out your customer base. It sounds like you've put a lot of thought into that. And what I want to know also is why do you think a customer would choose you over your competition?
okay, that's a tough question.
No softballs here.
I I I dare to be different in terms of standing in who you are and not being afraid of your vulnerabilities and not being afraid of saying, okay, I am trying, I'm not perfect, I'm just trying. And a lot of my content online is about granting yourself grace. So I try to lead with that. I don't try to lead with having it all figured out. I try to lead with, we are all trying, and we're all um you know making the best of the resources and opportunities that we have these long range vision and these big dreams, and we're making tiny calculated steps to take them. So I try to speak more on that, the vulnerabilities, and we are all trying our best, as opposed to the perfection. And that is why, personal branding for me comes in that aspect. I speak a lot about authenticity and not just it being perfect. So that polished version of people online, I don't speak to that. I speak to you being okay with saying that, yesterday I made an error, but today I learned from that, or being open and okay with that. So I try to differentiate myself in terms of speaking on granting ourselves grace. So I hope that is enough to set me apart, from to say that we're all trying, and we're just people making tiny steps, hoping to accomplish those big goals.
I appreciate that perspective. I really do. And I'm sure the people who are drawn to you and your services do as well, because that's the reality of things. We're not perfect.
We're not.
And to have that space to, work with that imperfection, I'm sure reaps great dividends. So thank you for that. My next question is, in this journey thus far, can you speak to, what's the most satisfying moment in business so far?
The most satisfying thing I find is the people I now know. No, it's serious. Um, I just a personal point to drop. I'm an introvert, and being in Jamaica is small, so I feel like I was doing well. Like, I knew enough people to not be like I'm overwhelming myself as an introvert, and I'm able to attract opportunities. I'm able to do the things that I wanted to do. I think I was doing pretty well. But when I came to Canada, it's like, wow, it is a big place, and it took me a while to realize that it's not that I need to be an extrovert. It's not that I need to be a different person. It's just that I need to step out of my comfort zone. So the scariest yet most satisfying thing for me is being able to talk to people I did not know before and have some amazing conversations. Some of those conversations had nothing to do with being an entrepreneur, and it was in those moments that I felt like you did a good thing, Nadia. Like, the decision, as scary as it was to decide that you want to become an entrepreneur here in Canada, that was actually a good thing, because it made you make bold steps. It made you realize that life is, or the world is, about connections and the right people and those conversations. That's what makes it all fulfilling. That's what make personal life fulfilling, and that's what will make business fulfilling. So I think the most satisfying thing for me is those people that I've already met, and I'm just looking forward to more, you know.
I
to
love that attitude. That's such a great outlook. And I also appreciate, you could celebrate yourself. You could completely celebrate yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. When you reach a milestone, big or small, taking that space out to do a little bit of an appreciation dance, I think it's always great. So thanks for modeling that really well.
try.
And so my next question for you, what keeps you motivated? In entrepreneurship, there's highs, but there's also lows. So on this journey, what keeps you motivated?
um the thing that so I think I'm more of a visionary person. So I like the big ideas, and I will say, and I think I have too many notebooks of big ideas, because
That a
that's what
Jamaican thing?
I'm probably so that is something that I spend a lot of time thinking of, the big ideas. And I remind myself that, making the step to leave Jamaica to come here is really a big decision, and the fact that I have done it, I have had my major challenges. I've had obstacles along the way. I've had moments that I wanted to quit, and I didn't. And I've come to understand that life will throw those hard things at you, and it's just to ensure that you remember exactly why it is that you have started something. And this is something that has been a part of who I am ever since. I probably sometimes my mother thinks it's stubbornness, but once I start something, I want to finish, and that's my motivation. I've started this. I have let people know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And I feel that I would do myself and everybody else a bit of disservice if I quit, without actually, exhausting all the resources or opportunities that may be out there when a hard season hits, to find something that will help me pass that. Because I think if you look for the resources to help you over those hurdles, you will find them. So I'm motivated because I want to see something to the end, and irrespective of those low moments, I promise myself that once you start something, you're going to exhaust all of the resources or options available to see to the end. And if you do quit, it's because there's no more road ahead for you to go based on what it is that you're trying to pursue. And so I try to be motivated that way.
Nice. That's what stood out was when you said, you want to try and exhaust, all the resources that you have, and making sure that you're kind of connecting with yourself, your personality, you want to see something through. And I think that's a trait that a lot of entrepreneurs have. That's a very common motivator. But it also sounds like you've done that self-reflection to be able to draw on that in times of hurdles
Yep.
and challenges. Gearing down. So again, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I have a few more. And the next one is really about advice. What piece of advice would you give to a newcomer, maybe someone in this room who wants to become an entrepreneur, maybe hasn't taken that leap yet, but is seriously considering it? What piece of advice would you share?
Well, it goes back to what we said earlier about what I would have wish I'd done, and that would get, coaching. You are launching a business in a new country. It's not going to be like what it was in your country of origin. It's going to be entirely different. Even if you have done something similar, it's a different space. A lot of things are going to be, the mere fact that you are new here and you have no connections, it should be enough for you to seek that kind of professional support, that coaching, with a business coaching or courses, and do that early on into the process. The minute you decide that you have this idea, get help, get someone to throw that idea at, bounce the idea off someone, and get that professional or that expert advice. That's one. Two, work on building your network, not just for the purpose of business, but for your personal life. Get a work on building that network, people who can support you, because you need support in your business, not just in terms of the advice for the business itself, but you need someone to help you with your sanity. You need someone to help you, to unwind, to get that down, to remind yourself that you are a person first. Even with the title, you're an entrepreneur, you have other titles in your personal life as well. You're a mother, you are a friend, all of those things. And it's when you go into business, it is you that go into business, not the professional you that go into business. The personal you, the financial you, the spiritual you, all aspect of you go into the business. So you need to have that network of supportive people around you, to help you along that journey, not just for the business, as I said, but for all the other aspects of you that comes into play. And the final thing is to work on your personal brand. I think your personal brand is the first thing that helps you to attract those right people, because when you put your values out there, people who are like-minded, who have the similar values, those persons are the ones they are going to attract. And the more people that you attract that align with your values, the better it is for you to progress in terms of your career. So those are the three things that I think is important, whether you are going to go extensively in building your personal brand. But it's not just to that aspect where we talk about it as a service, not just in that, but in terms of building your personal brand, to communicate your value so that you can meet the right people, so that you can attract the right opportunities, and then you can go from there. So those are the three, the coaching, the network, and putting yourself and your value out there.
Amazing. Thank you for punctuating all those pieces. I hope, if this resonates with you, consider reaching out to Nordia, because it can be really challenging to find the right words to communicate your values in the right way that's going to attract the people that you want to either get that 9 to 5 or articulate your specialization, whether you're going into entrepreneurship or an executive role. So I really appreciate you laying that out. And I'm sure there's just that much more richness in the services that you offer. And so my last question to you, Nordia, is again, reflecting on your entrepreneurial journey so far. What has been the most important risk you tackled in your business, and how did you overcome it?
So the risk that I had to take recently was the risk to move from New Brunswick to Ontario. It was a risk because, one, I was employed in New Brunswick, and two, I had gone through 4 years of life in Canada. So I had a network, as small as it was, I had that professional network there, and I had to give all of that up, to make the move. And one of the things that was good for my business was my employment, because then I had the funding for the things that I needed to get done to move my business forward. And so I had to give that up. And the network that I already had in place, where persons already knew of me and what I had to offer, as opposed to being in a new province where the people that knew me are my family and friends. And so I have to reestablish myself. It was like moving to Canada twice, moving from one place and then into it really felt like that. So that was the biggest risk, because and why that was a risk for my business, because my business is me. I am a solo entrepreneur. So my business is me. So any decision that I make in my personal life affects me personally and affects my business. So that was really a big risk that I had taken. So far I'm not fully gone over that hurdle. I think I might be at the top going down, to get over it. Yeah, so I think I'm at the top. But so far I have expanded myself so much more, you know online. I've expanded myself so much more. I have realized that I have to step further out of my comfort zone to find people that will become part of my network, persons that I can add value to their life and they add value to mine. Because I did mention about networking, but I think we need to remember that when you are building a network, you are going to give value. You start with that process first, as opposed to thinking of what it is that you can get. Because if you go thinking what you can get, you're not going to, you're not going to reap the right things, and people are not going to leave that relationship or that connection fulfilled. And your aim should be to connect with people and to give value to people. So I think that's for me what it was in terms of a risk that I taken, and then getting there in terms of getting past it. And it just brings me back to what I said. I am trying. We're all trying. We're all trying to make it work, to do the best that we can. And I don't regret making the decision, because it has been working out far better than I hoped. It started off slow. You still have those questions: was it the right thing to do? But then it's gaining traction, and I'm seeing where it made sense, and it makes sense, and it's working, and I'm slowly going down the other side of that bump.
We hope you make it there safely.
Yeah, I do hope. I think I based on how I'm going, that introvert aspect of me, to take things slow, not to overwhelm myself. I'm slowly going on. It's not that snow slide, when you're on that. It's not that one.
Not the
It's the,
rush one.
no, it's not. So I'm
Like
just taking my time.
stopping,
Yep,
taking your time,
taking my
going
time.
through.
Yeah. So
I
I
love
am
that.
working on it.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're welcome.
reminding us that we're people first.
Yep.
And also that we're works in progress. I think that's also a fantastic reminder. And so that concludes my kind of questions. I might have some more, but I want to open it up now. And my colleague Sarah will kind of lead the questions. I just gonna check the chat.
For sure. I just let me. Well, I don't see any questions here.
Okay.
So
That usually means that
the questions have been
was just
answered already.
thorough. But or it also means that people would like to just kind of go on camera and open their mic. So my question for everyone is anybody else an introvert in this space? Anybody else an introvert? Please feel free to raise your hand. No? The rest. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got some introverts. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I imagine, this resonated with you all, because it can be a challenge being an introvert and also, doing the necessary connection building and networking. So thank you for being here and being vulnerable with that. And I think Nordia did a great job of articulating the ways, the expectation for yourself can be, adjusted to that reality of who you are. You'll take your time, but doesn't mean that you're sacrificing the quality, right? So anybody else want to share questions or comments about we have Victoria saying it was a great speech. Thank you for sharing that, Victoria. That's amazing.
Appreciate
And
that. Thank
she
you.
says thank you. Awesome. Yeah, we have some time for questions. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Not all at once. I think we just have more appreciation, gratitude more than anything else. So thank you so much, Nordia. This is a very refreshing perspective. A lot of the times, I say this time and time again, a lot of the times we only hear people's highlights in their entrepreneurial journey. We don't necessarily get to hear what it takes to get there. So that's why we really appreciate having people like you in this space to be vulnerable and authentic. I think it goes a long way. And looking at the chat, I think it does.
I really do appreciate it. I do. I was nervous, am I saying the right thing? But I appreciate the kind words from everyone. It really means a lot to me. And I'm happy there, that you saying that it means you found value in what I said. And that is the most important thing for me. So thank you all for that.
Amazing. Thank you. And I can say, based on what you shared, we come across at the One Hub, right? We connect with a lot of newcomer immigrants and refugees who come with a vast amount of experience and graduate degrees, of course. And so I completely see where you bring value, because it can be a challenge to, shift to this audience here in Canada and make sure that you're shining as brightly as possible. So we definitely need people like you out there. We definitely do.
And I like what you said. It's about us, getting an opportunity to shine. And one of the hardest thing is to know where you are coming from, know what you've already accomplished, and then to enter a space and feel so invisible, but there are opportunities for you, and I feel that there are opportunities for all of us to be able to shine, as you said, and that's what we really want, the opportunity to shine. We have value and we want to share that, and we want the opportunity to be able to share that.
Amazing. And thank you, Stephen, for popping.
Thank you, Stephen. I just saw that.
Yeah, that's Nordia's website. It's a great website. You can find all of her services there. And I'll also actually share. Let's see. Oopsies. I'll also share her contact details. Bear with me a moment. Thank you. Let's see. So many buttons to push. Here we go. So you can find Nordia here. Here's her location on the interwebs. You can reach her on LinkedIn or email her directly, or on her website, as Stephen graciously put in the chat there. And I'll also draw your attention to where we are at on the internet for One Hub. And so we're on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and of course you can check out our website as well. If you haven't explored any of the offerings that we provide, such as business coaching, mentorship, financial literacy, please connect with us. We have so many offerings, and we love to connect you with people like Nordia, who've gone through it and are willing to share their journey so that you don't have to go through different challenges. So please connect with us if you want to know more. And we actually have our intake and referral counselor, Sarah Travisoli, here on the call, and she will actually be reaching out to you as well, just to follow up.
Of course.
Yes. And so her email is just here at the bottom. And Sarah, if you could also put it in the chat, that might be.
Of course, why not? Yeah.
Thank you.
Going
Thank
to
you
put
so
it there.
much. And so before I let everyone go, I just want to check the pulse. I'm going to launch a poll. Please let us know if you're likely to attend a future Lunch and Learn event similar to this one. And also let us know how you like to connect with others. How do you like to network? So I'll launch that, and please go ahead and enter some details. It's always good to know. As you're saying, as introverts are going to, connect differently than extroverts, perhaps. And it's also good to try different ways to stretch yourself and go beyond your comfort zone. As Nordia mentioned today, it can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. Almost getting all the results in. Pretty good. Okay, find that here. So we can see that a lot of people are happy with today's event, and we'll see you at the next Lunch and Learn in October. And that's going to be great. We're going to have another newcomer entrepreneur, perhaps even an alumni who's gone through our services, so they can speak to that. If any of you are a newcomer entrepreneur, and you want to kind of have a chat with us, talk about your business and what you're doing, please get in contact with me or get in contact with Sarah, and she'll direct you to me so we can have you on our Lunch and Learn events. We love to do these every other month to make sure we are highlighting all the amazing newcomer talent in our community, which is immense, right? So please get connected. We see that a lot of people like to, I think the most preferred way of networking is meeting through other people, right? And that's always good. It's like an extra check, right? You have that person in common, so it makes it easier. Other people like to attend in-person events, so that's good to know. I know we have some on the horizon, so please check your inbox for that. And virtual events like this one, which obviously we love having you. There's the results there. Awesome. So we're going to gear down, but before we do, I'd love to take a photo. And before I do that, I'm just going to say a huge thank you to Nordia again. Thank you for being here and sharing your story, being vulnerable and authentic. Really can't thank you enough.
I appreciate it.
Awesome.